Welcome to the beast, I unleash, I'm a motherfucking beast.
Alright guys, full day of eating and supplements going down. Before fasted cardio this morning, I took Legion's Forge Fat Burner. It's a stimulant fat burner, so I took that before fasted. I have my creatine Phoenix by Legion, which is a non-stimulant fat burner. Fish oil, iron, calcium, magnesium, zinc, multivitamin. And about 20 minutes ago I took PA7, which is the glucose disposal agent, so my body is ready for carbs. Then over here we have apple cider vinegar shot. I'm about to fill this up with water. So this is 15 milliliters of ACV. Fill it up with water, take the shot, chase with diet soda, rinse your mouth out, real good. I have coffee brewed over here, cashew milk, and stevia drops, and a packet of Truvia with coffee. This is the best blend coffee you will ever buy. These are the stevia drops. I get them on Amazon. Lastly, the actual breakfast. I have it in the freezer. It's right here because I like to cool it off before I actually eat it. But it's my cauliflower cream of wheat recipe with strawberries in it. And last but not least, lots of water. Stay hydrated. And I try to drink 2/3 of one of these before I even start eating, or one even, so stay hydrated. That's all. Meal one, supplements for meal one, done. Meal number 2, we have reduced sugar ketchup with chicken, potatoes, and Brussels sprouts, and lots of pink Himalayan salt because sodium and electrolytes are important, especially when you're drinking a lot of water and training a lot. So don't skip the salt. Please use it generously. Pre-workout meal is a turkey zucchini burger by Meal Dealers. The macros on this are 38 protein, 9 fat, and 14 carb. Look at that and how beautiful. Oh my gosh, and that's a lot of cauliflower rice. Super excited to try this one. Wow, this looks good. And then my subs are second dose of Phoenix for the day, the non-stim fat burner. L-carnitine is the white one, and CLA is the red one. So those two in pairing are 2 great non-stim fat burners as well. Pre-workout, I'm having 1 slice of pickle for sodium because the shop is sort of outdoors, so I want to make sure I have enough sodium, electrolytes all in my system. Then we have rice cakes. I'm going to have 3 of these, and I put them in a Ziploc with pink salt, and then I kind of shake it up so it gets all over the rice cakes, and then I eat them in the car on the way. So I'm going to have 3 of these, slice of pickle, lots of sodium, carbs, and drinking lots of water and pre-workout on the way there. So that's pre-workout meal. Alright, what's up y'all? So right now we are on day 20, glute day. So I'm going to finish the full day of eating out after you see the workout footage. So it's like you see the pre-workout meal, you see the workout, then you see the post-workout meal, everything like that. So it's glute day, so time to build that booty. Started off with a warm-up, activating my glutes, opening my hips, warming everything up. And you can see the full video for my entire warm-up routine and activation exercises that I like for my glutes in the description box below, so it'll be linked below as like a glute activation video. Check that out if you're curious about my warm-up routine. It varies pretty much every time I train, but it incorporates all the same type of stuff that you're seeing here. So first off, we did a cable glute kickback superset with a banded glute kickback. So this was actually really killer, a great way to fire the glutes to start off the workout. Started off with 12 per leg on the kickbacks and then superset that with 20 per leg on the banded glute kickback. Things to remember for the cable glute kickback are to really use your leg as a pendulum. Kick not only up with your heel, but back as far as you possibly can. Squeeze your glute at the top, lead with the knee, and really think about that pendulum leg swinging back and forth at the hip joint. And make sure everything else is stable, your core is tight, you're not locking out that leg that you're standing on, and you're really trying to squeeze your glutes up at the top. Banded glute kickback is basically the exact same thing, except you just have a band above your knees instead of a weight attached to your ankles. This provides great constant tension on the glutes and really burns the glutes after the kickback. But basically with these guys, if you don't have a band, you can just do a drop set on every single set of the cable glute kickbacks. But if you do have a band, the 20 reps are absolutely killer, and I definitely recommend at least trying it out. Next up, we moved on to a Smith machine Bulgarian split squat. So with this, it's a little bit of a tricky setup. You want to have some kind of bench behind you so that you can rest your foot on it. And what you want to do is have the bar on your back like you're about to do a squat, have one foot out in front of you, and you want to sit down and back into your hips so that your knee comes down to a 90-degree angle, and you're basically doing a squat with one leg. And the key here is to sink into that front foot. All of your weight should go straight down into that front foot. Really dig into the ground, come down and back into your hips. Focus on a large degree of hip flexion and not so much a large degree of knee flexion. The knee does not come over the toe, just like in any lunge. And you're not putting any weight on your back foot. The back foot is just there for stability. So if you are putting pressure on it, then stop putting pressure on it. I kind of put the bar in like a low bar position on my back because it lines up with where I'm squatting down, with where my front glute is. Whatever feels best for you is fine. Just make sure as you're coming down, you're controlling the way down as much as possible, and you're sinking into the heel of your front foot. There's barely any pressure on the back leg, and you're sinking into the heel and the outer half of that front foot, and that's going to help you engage your glute as much as possible. So think about that with every single set, every rep. And really focus on pushing your knee out as you come down. So 3 sets of 10 here. Go as heavy as you possibly can for 10 reps. You don't have to worry so much about balance because you're using the Smith machine, so load up that weight and really push yourself on these split squats. Next up, we moved on to a single leg press. Alright guys, so I'm actually going to be changing the plan. So those of you who are doing the Kickstart as it premiered with me in 2017, it's going to say angled leg press on your program. You can do angled leg press if you like it, but I just feel weird pressure. I can't find a machine that feels right with it, so I'm just doing normal single leg press. Anyone who's doing the program past like August 2017 and downloads it should have the version that says single leg press only, and all the angled single leg presses will be replaced because it's not only uncomfortable, but it can be bad for your spine if you're loading up too heavy with this movement. So yeah, there's a lot of changes that I want to make to the Kickstart. Not bad things necessarily, but like little things like that are really motivating me to make a second one of these for like winter break maybe, because I am a college student. It would be during the month of December through January, either that or next summer. But just so you guys know, this is not the only one of its kind, so stay tuned. So as I just said there, we're doing a single leg press with a drop set on the last set. I'm not doing the angle because it's just too awkward for me, honestly, and I'm gonna change the program like I said in that clip. I'm just gonna own up to it and say, hey, this didn't really work. I wrote the program, but I can't execute it myself, and I don't think it's safe for others to try and execute a heavy sideways leg press either. So let's just go with single leg press. Again, if you're watching this in the future, then your program will already say single leg press, so don't worry about it. But a drop set on the final set and a leg press, calf press is superset with that, with a drop set every set. So with the single leg press, I like to keep a somewhat narrow foot placement. I like to put my foot high on the sled. That way I get a really good stretch in my glutes and hamstrings when I bring the weight down. And when you come up with any leg press, guys, do not lock out your knees. Just stray away from locking out the knees. And with the drop set on the last set, try to get more than 12 more. So what I like to do with drop sets with single leg exercises is I will do the reps for one leg, drop set, put the weight back on, the reps for the other leg, then drop set. So that way you're getting the tension on your leg with as little rest between the working set and the drop set as possible. Then with the leg press, calf press, make sure you're pushing up and rolling into the ball of your foot, inner side of your foot, and you're trying to extend your calves all the way by pushing your heels as high as you possibly can against that sled. So all the weight's in the ball of your toe, or the ball of your foot, and your heels are coming as high as possible, squeezing the calves at the top of every single rep. So drop set every set here, guys. Don't forget, after you finish the first 12 reps of the leg press, calf press, then drop the weight and perform a drop set before you go into your next working set. Next up, we moved on to a barbell glute bridge. So what this is it's a hip thrust, except it's from the ground. So I did do these banded just because I wanted to focus on practicing abduction as well. But 3 sets of 20. So with the glute bridge, you can kind of go relatively heavy, but also it's 20 reps, so it's gonna burn like crazy. It's definitely not 50 reps, but it's still a lot. I went pretty heavy on these and it was absolutely killer. I had to lower the weight after the first set because I only got 10 reps and then had to finish out. But that's okay. I thought I could go heavier than I expected, but I guess my glutes were just already burnt out at this point. So glute bridges, pushing out of your heels, shoulders are digging into the ground, you're keeping your chin tucked, you're pushing up and forward towards your heels with your hips, focusing on squeezing your glutes as hard as you can at the top and pushing your knees out as you squeeze your glutes as well. Then we moved on to a glute hyperextension. So this is on the back extension machine. The big stark difference between a glute hyperextension and a back hyperextension is that you can see here that my shoulders are rolled forward. I'm all the way down on this glute hyperextension, so my body is basically at a 90-degree angle at the hip. And what I'm doing is I'm pushing out of my heels and squeezing my glutes hard at the top, but I'm not coming any higher than where my body is basically a straight line. Once you come above that spot where your body is in a straight line, your torso is in line with your legs, then you're doing a back extension and you're using your lower back. There's nothing wrong with that, that's just a different exercise. So the bottom half of this movement targets your glutes when you're squeezing them at the top. So 20 reps of this, I just did body weight, it was killer, and it burned my glutes and hamstrings so much. So focus on that hip hinge, focus on getting your body to where it is straight like a board, and then come back down, feel the glutes stretch, and go into another rep. I like to have my feet pointed outwards with this so that I can get my glutes to squeeze as hard as possible at the top. Pretend like there's a grape in between your butt cheeks and you have to pop it. That is how you should feel with every single hip hinge movement. Anything where you squeeze your glutes at the top, that's how you should feel. There's a grape in between your ass cheeks, you gotta pop it. So that's how you get your glutes involved. Lastly, we did another burnout exercise of reverse glute hyperextensions. So this is pretty much the same thing, except instead of my legs being stable, my torso is stable, and I'm moving my legs to reach that same flat body, torso in line with the legs, hip extension at the top. So I did these body weight for the first 2 sets and then challenged myself to do with no weight on the machine, but I used the machine's lever for the final set and it was killer. So with this, you want to swing your legs up and back, squeezing your glutes at the top. Guys, if you don't have this hyperextension table, you can literally just use a bench at your gym and just lay on it and bring your legs up behind you.
Don't make these harder, it's too easy. Use this. Or put a band above your knees. Or hold an exercise ball between your feet as you kick up. I'm weak as shit because I've never done these before. My glutes aren't actually weak, but they're definitely not accustomed to this movement, so never done them before. So I'm just going body weight, trying to get the pump. And they're still hard, so do what's going to be hard for you, challenging for you. Finish strong. So you don't need to bring your feet all the way down like they are hanging in this video here. What you need to do is just keep your legs more bent and then squeeze your glutes up at the top, and you can just keep your knees bent but also come down so where you have a 90-degree angle at the hip at the bottom of every rep. So that's how you can perform this on a bench at your gym rather than the glute hyperextension table. Just lay the bench flat and try that out. But basically I'm just swinging my legs up, squeezing my glutes at the top, and really trying to control that top portion of the motion and come down slowly to really feel the tension and the squeeze in my butt. So that's it. That's the entire glute workout. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let's finish out this full day of eating, and then we will move right on to day 21, full body conditioning. So thank you guys so much for watching, and give this video a thumbs up if you're liking the kickstart and if you like this workout. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Crush your workouts today, and I'll talk to you then. Bye. Alright, so day 20, 10 days left, guys. Let's freaking go. There's so much makeup in my eyes.
Post-workout meal. This is not an ideal post-workout meal, but I did get my carbs dropped. So this is asparagus, chicken, zucchini, and mushrooms. Lots of volume, big bowl of food, and it's very low calorie, and I'm saving all my calories basically for protein oats later tonight. So post-workout, last meal of the day, oatmeal with a scoop of Yosemite s'mores protein powder from Miracle Labs. Guys, this is so good. There's real marshmallows in it. Tastes like s'mores. You can't go freaking wrong. Supplements, one more serving of CLA, finishing off the night with more water, editing, oatmeal. That's the full day of eating.